Good afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to drop in and talk about last night's Democratic debate in Las Vegas. You guys, it was the craziest evening ever. And let me tell you why. So we saw Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, and Bernie Sanders converge on Las Vegas, all to fight and spar with former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. So New York City, or former New York City Michael Bloomberg, mayor, it was his first night on the debate stage. And it was the most underwhelming performance we have ever seen of a candidate to date. In fact, his performance was so lackluster, it made Joe Biden's previous debate performance look like they were Oscar worthy. Joe Biden was literally well rested last night. He knew where he was prepared for answers. It was fascinating. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Warren has realized that her lackluster appearances in New Hampshire and Iowa left a lot to be desired, and that it was no way going to help her win the nomination for Democrat president. So what did she do? She came out feisty as ever, and she was super fierce and reminding all of us that she is definitely the progressive candidate to be watching. She took aim at former New York City Michael Bloomberg over his NDAs that he had previous employees sign of him, not to talk ill about him or to share details of different settlements and things like that. It became apparent very quickly that these NDAs could in fact become Mayor Michael Bloomberg's version of binders full of women. In case you forgot about the binders full of women, in 2012, Mitt Romney came under fire for saying that he had binders full of women, meaning qualified candidates that could work with him at Bain Capital. It was a comment that he could never quite shake, and he wound up losing. Nevertheless, last night we saw an undercard debate take place between Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg when Pete Buttigieg called Amy Klobuchar on her immigration voting record. Meanwhile, Amy Klobuchar reminded all of us that we can't be as perfect as Pete. Or can we? Nevertheless, last night's debate was just fascinating because obviously it was apparent by watching everyone go after former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg that he is the threat. They are worried about him, and I don't think it's necessarily about his policies or his track record as mayor, but the fact that the man has pockets deeper than anybody on stage, and he can literally spend over $1 billion on this and not even lose sleep. Like, he won't even bat an eyelash if he throws another $1.5 billion in the mix. Now, to date, in all fairness, he's actually only spent about $350 million, but who's counting? I am. Nevertheless, last night left a lot to be desired in terms of substance and policy. We talked about healthcare, we talked about immigration, but really what we talked the most about was former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. His performance left so much to be desired. It was the most underwhelming thing, as I mentioned, that I've ever seen. It'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. Some people are saying that his candidacy is over. He should just roll up the carpet and go home with all of his billions and just call it a day. However, I can tell you that we're just getting started with former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Remember, this weekend when Nevada goes to caucus, he's not on the ballot. So really, it doesn't matter how poorly Nevadans think he is because they can't even vote against him. All they can do is choose the candidates on the ballot. Looking ahead to Super Tuesday, it is definitely going to be a Super Tuesday for sure, as we get to see if all of these millions that Mayor Michael Bloomberg has spent will pay dividends, or will his campaign be DOA, given the fact that his lackluster performance left all of us wondering, how did you even get here, man? But it was apparent his strategy was literally to do nothing more than to be the guy in the group project that just writes his name on the report before he hands it in to the teacher. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm curious to think who was the best guy for you or girl? Who do you think had the best performance, and who are you hoping will just bag it in and go home? Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll stay with me. In the next couple of days, we'll do another video as we get closer to Super Tuesday. We'll talk about Nevada after that happens this weekend. And I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye!